Just, all right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. It's 3 minutes after. I'll just try to keep letting people in if I can here. I was really happy to see we had quite a few people RSVP, and I know this is not like our typical topic for a team meeting per se, but I think it's really important that we talk about this. Is everybody kind of aware of what the situation is right now with Facebook? Or when I put this out, were you kind of like, what are you talking about? Raise your hand if you didn't know anything. Jody didn't know anything. Okay. So we're gonna talk a little bit about what's going on with Meta, if you will, or Facebook, if you will. And we're gonna talk just a smidge too about like, it's been kind of a little funky the last couple months with sales and bookings and stuff like that. And I do want you guys to know that, you know, it is a little weird when you're coming into a brand new season and that happens, but I will tell you, I definitely think the fact that we didn't have the launch of our main item, the coffee maker wasn't able to premiere. I think that, it's really hard when you're sending a catalog to somebody and you have to stick a sticker on the front of it that says coming soon, But, I think this is just kind of like how it can go in this industry at times too. We can have really, really high times and we can have low times. And we're coming off of a couple of years of really, really high sales for Pampered Chef, especially the 2 years after COVID. 2020 and 21 21 was like one of the biggest years for Pampered Chef. So I do think that we're just going through one of those times again. Grocery prices are still really high for people, just all sorts of different things like that. So I don't want you guys to get frustrated. It is what it is. That's just how it goes sometimes. I mean, Sarah and Kathy and I were talking about this the other night, and Sarah said the same thing. She's like, I think it might be that time that's gonna, we might have this little happen again. Pampered Chef is always really good about coming up with strategies for this. So don't, like I said, don't fret about it. We just have to learn that this is how a home-based business or a business that you own, it is just how it is sometimes. But unfortunately, in a time where we're at a time again where Facebook is frustrating us. Okay. It's frustrating us. It's frustrating our business. Have a lot of you been feeling that groups have been a little bit of a struggle lately? Have you been feeling like people aren't receiving notifications? People aren't, yeah. Well, there's pretty much a reason for that. I mean, that's what Facebook is trying to do. Facebook is trying to not want us, doesn't really want us to use groups anymore. So it was announced a couple months ago. I think they kind of talked about it a little bit this fall, and then it kind of an official statement was made. I believe it was the end of January that as of April 22nd, they are no longer going to be allowing third-party apps for the group. So like what we're using right now, Zoom, we can use Zoom. Obviously, we're not on Facebook to use Zoom, but how I just streamed into the team page, we're not going to be able to do that anymore. We're not going to be able to do any kind of, anything like that. Anything where you have to add an app to a group on Facebook. So this is for groups, not other things necessarily. Groups solely. So Facebook is sneaky sometimes, and they've said big things in the past of different, this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and then they didn't follow through with it really. But we all kind of feel that like this is actually going to happen because basically all of the third-party companies are trying to cover their ground, and you're trying to figure, they're pivoting, how they can help us all run parties. Okay. So have any of you taken any of the CintShare courses or like little pop-up events that they've been doing for us? Do we have anybody on the call that uses anything other for a posting service besides CintShare? There's like Post My Party, there's Vizzle, there's a bunch of them out there. Anybody else? I think pretty much our team is kind of stuck to CintShare. So fortunately, we don't have to try to juggle 15 different third-party apps out there. But if you are currently not using a third-party app like CintShare, I just want to let you know too that groups really might not be the best choice for you even. So we don't know. We don't really know what it's going to look like. We don't know if they eliminate the use of third-party apps, if all of a sudden groups will start magically working better again. We don't know. They're just kind of sneaky that way. You can go in and Google some articles, about this. It's third-party AI is basically what they call it. But, I went and read some articles. And what's very, unfortunate about it is that from these articles that I've read, this is going to be probably very devastating for thousands of companies. There's probably going to be a lot of businesses that tank from this. And I'm not like specifically talking about us. I'm talking like CintShare, for instance, and all those kinds of all those kinds of services that are out there. I mean, there's tons of things that I couldn't even tap into. There's all sorts of different ones for different like Zoom, but there's a whole bunch of different ones for going live in groups and different things like that. But we are talking only Facebook groups, but just so you know too, it could affect the way your VIP groups work. We just really, the hard thing about this is we do not know. We don't know. That's the thing. So, for us as business owners, we do not always have to use the third-party apps. We know this already, correct? I mean, not everybody on this call probably uses CintShare. Is there anybody that doesn't? Like Jody, you really don't, right? You pretty much.
No, I'm pretty much Facebook scheduler because I had so many problems with CintShare not posting my stuff during all that time. And so I just kind of got away from it. And then I made a note to try to get back into it. And then I noticed you mentioning this about CintShare, and I thought, well, I'm not going to get used to it again.
Right. The good thing is that we do have options on how to run our parties. And the thing that I kind of just want to say to you guys tonight is that I can't really, and Brandy and Sarah and Kathy and Crystal and Domini, none of us can tell you how to do it. Like, we're not going to say you have to do it like this way because you don't. We can't make you guys go one way or the other. You can absolutely keep using groups if you want to. You can manually post, which is a pain in the butt because then you're going to be at the beck of at 8 o'clock, I want to make a post and then I have to turn around and at 10 o'clock, I make a post. You don't want to do that. I mean, it's a lot, but manually posting in conjunction with Facebook Scheduler is a little bit more doable. I actually got forced. I hadn't manually posted like that with Scheduler for 4 years. And in the first week of my mom being in the hospital, one of my parties wouldn't work. And that's exactly what I had to do. So I'm like, well, I had to do it. And it's doable, but you just have to make sure that you're planning and accommodating enough time for you to be able to post. Like what I would do is I would only post for the following day. I would take some time in the evening, like on Monday night, to post my 6 posts or whatever I was going to do on Tuesday and schedule them. So I wasn't overwhelming myself so much, so we do,
Kelly,
yeah.
Kelly, is this change going to affect the Facebook scheduler also?
Not that we're aware of.
Okay, so it's more or less just CintShare or any of those apps that we go into Facebook?
And that you go into the apps when you're setting up a group.
Yep.
And it's only for groups.
Okay.
Only if you schedule into a group. Okay, so I'm getting to that.
Okay. Thank you.
So ScentShare, since that's what we're all using, they are what are some of the trainings that they were doing the last couple of weeks is to shift you into using your business page. If somebody's got somebody talking in the background, would you guys mind muting? I'd appreciate it. Thank you. I want you guys to be able to freely talk tonight, but if you've got kids in the background, that would be great. So ScentShare, they're encouraging us to use pages. So they also made the suggestion that you could create a new page for like you would do a group, like create a page per party. Well, I was going to do that with my party this week. And I went in and I created the page, and that wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. But then after I was thinking about it, I'm like, I'm never going to know who's invited to this party. If they don't accept that, if they don't follow you, then you have no way at all. And the other thing I'm concerned about is that you're going to be flagged as a spammer. Like if you're making all these pages and stuff like that. So, and then Brandy, I think it was you, right? That you tried to make a page and it wouldn't even let you make a page, right?
Yes, and after it said you've created too many pages recently, when I haven't created a page in probably over a year or
Almost
two.
3 years or yeah.
Well, I know I created a fake one time for Pampered Chef because I was having issues. So I wanted to see if it was like I did a test one, but yeah, it's been a year probably. And then once I did that and it blocked me or told me I couldn't, it eventually let me, but after I read more up on it, people were saying that it's not going to be like the resolve. Like they're going to put a limit on how many pages you can create. Plus pages are public.
So that's where I'm saying the spam situation. You could get all these weird people following you, making weird posts in the group, derogatory posts even. It could just be very weird. And for me, with doing this for as long as I have, I do not want to put my customers in a position like that. You know what I mean? Stuff like that happens often enough on social media where you're getting, you're constantly seeing people getting their profiles hacked and stuff like that. So I personally feel like pages isn't going to be the option that I want to go with myself.
Yeah. So I tried posting or doing a page on Friday, and I was restricted for an hour. And then the girl told me today that I did the party for, she invited like over 200 people and only like 9 followers are in there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't even know how you would ever be able to connect with people. You know what
can't.
I mean? No.
And then she was like, how do I even post to anything?
Well, she has to comment. It would be like commenting on posts. And there was a few kind of perks to that, if you will, like that you could message the person directly, but really overall, not being able to know who's in your party. It's like,
right.
No, I personally just I don't think that's the route I want to go myself. So, the one thing I will say about ScentShare is that if you have a ScentShare account, it can be paused or like frozen, if you will, like if you're not going to use it. I pay for my ScentShare for a year at a time, so I'm not going to do anything different with mine right now. They do have amazing content in there and things to give you ideas. So I think I'm just going to keep mine for a while and be able to just access it for that. And honestly, even if I am doing a manual posting type thing or a Facebook scheduler, you can have your ScentShare up on one screen and copy and paste and plug it in very easily. That would be a nice way if you didn't want to have to be going off of like a Google Doc, going back and forth and cutting and pasting from a Google Doc. your Cint Share party is set up and you can literally go from post to post to post. Yeah.
That's how I've always used the Canva, because the Cint Share has the Canva button. So
Mhm,
that's what I do when I want to use those pictures that I've created, then I
mhm.
just do it that way, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm, like I said, I'm planning on keeping it for right now for like planning purposes. And honestly, the other thing that I kind of feel, and I don't know if the other directors feel this way, but I kind of feel like this Pages idea from Cint Share is really, so they just didn't have a bunch of people cancel immediately. I mean, I think that was just a way for them to cover their butt. Now, Post My Party is another social hosting app like that. And they've actually created something called like Slow Glow or something like that. And basically it would be like their equivalent of Table. So why we wouldn't want to use something like that anyway, because Pampered Chef has already created something specifically for us for that. So I have manual posting or in a combination like with Facebook Scheduler. You could shift to Pages and still be able to use your Cint Share. You could also go to Table solely. And obviously that's going to be a learning curve. It's going to be figuring out how to get people to join that as well. There is a lot. I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of consultants that are they solely do their business on Table and they're having great success with it. And the other option is something that we talked about back in August when we got home from conference, that you could still create a Facebook group that you use as a gateway to get them to Table. And that would just be not as much posting. So manually posting or Facebook Scheduler posting in something like that probably wouldn't be too hard. But the only unknown in that department is we don't know what's going to happen with groups. If Facebook's really going to slow down letting people see notifications even more so, or maybe it'll come back up because people aren't using them as much or not using a third party. We just really don't know. So, and there is a possibility, I highly doubt it just because of all the work people have done now. There's a possibility that April 22nd can come around and they could be like, nah, we're not going to do that right now. Mark Zuckerberg's kind of, he can do whatever the heck he wants. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. So that's really kind of all that I really have to like tell you about it. It's not anything that I can make a decision for you. I'm actually still not even quite sure. I think I kind of know which route I want to go, but it's scary. It's scary. This is my full-time job. This isn't just my fun money, so I can't, it's scary because I don't want to have like things tank this month on me, so I don't know, Sarah, Brandy, I don't know, Crystal, if you guys want to chime in on anything before people start asking questions. I don't know if you guys have anything to say about it.
I can, or unless Sarah, you want to talk?
Oh,
Go ahead, Rainey.
Sarah can have time too.
I know you were talking about like manually posting with Cint Share. I don't know if you meant this or not, or if I just am explaining, I don't know, maybe I missed it. But so like if you still have Cint Share, they are going to allow you to schedule posts to a group, but you have to have the app on your phone to go in and like approve it and technically schedule it. So you can still set up your party that way, essentially, and then you have to go in and like schedule it. So to me, it's a little bit more time saving than copying and pasting a lot. So that is an option that you just have to go in and like click approve and schedule and stuff like that. And we can go over that more too.
That's called like a push notification.
Yeah.
And Sarah had she tried it last week and it didn't work.
Oh, really?
No, it works.
Well, it
It
works,
works.
but
Yeah,
it just,
It works
It's
in,
just, you have, yeah,
in
you have to have
Instagram and that.
time. Well, you have to have time.
Yeah,
Like,
you have to have
for
time.
me personally at work,
Yeah.
that's not going to work for me.
Yeah,
Unless I schedule just like morning, because I don't even have like the same hour that I'm at lunch every day. So for me, just trying to do that, it's not going to work. And I could push notification for like the morning and at night when I'm more available. It's just not going to work for me
Mhm.
to do like what SynShare does now.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
still an option and it can still work. It
Mhm.
just depends on your schedule, really.
Yeah.
Well,
and
and
what
even if
you
you had
have.
one, yeah, like if you had one scheduled at 10, one scheduled at noon or whatever, and you didn't get to them until 5 o'clock, you can push them both through and they'll just both post, back to back. It just won't be scheduled. But the other option that I am actually looking into is boards. And putting my whole party outline into boards and then scheduling it that way and like doing it through Facebook scheduler. And I kind of timed it out and it is still time consuming if I want to do a full outline, but it's definitely a lot less time consuming than just copying and pasting Facebook scheduler. I
I'm
think
not
it took me,
I was just gonna say, I'm not aware that you can post into a group from boards.
oh, I've been doing it as a test one.
Oh, you can. I didn't even.
Yeah,
know
you
that was
just,
an option. I've
you
only
set
thought
it up
was
as like
Messenger.
Facebook, yeah, you do Facebook scheduler under that group. And then you just use your, whatever you have, and like I have my outline in the board.
Oh,
And-
I see what you're saying. I thought you were meaning like going right from boards into a group, like. I see what
Oh.
you're saying. Yeah,
But how much is boards a month though?
it's free.
Well,
You can only have one thing though. Boards,
Yeah.
otherwise, I'm trying to think of what I paid. I think it was $100 for the year because I use boards for my host coaching. So
I think when I just signed up for it, I think, I don't know, me and Chris were I think you can have three boards, maybe three. I don't know. I don't know how all it all works, but you can have three for free or something. And then I feel like I only paid $50 or $60. Not only, but I mean, for the year. And then you can have as many as you want.
yeah, and maybe it wasn't 100. I can't remember. It's been, I don't know. I'd have to look at my receipt thingy, but yeah,
I would say 63 with tax. So that was my other option that I'm kind of throwing out there too and trying to figure out if it's gonna work.
Mhm. So SynShare, what I meant, Brandy, is you literally just bring up SynShare and open the post and copy it from there and paste it over and schedule it. So it's like you'd have to, yeah. That was what
so I think a lot of this is really going to depend, you guys, on how many parties you're running a week.
for
You
sure.
know, if you're somebody that is running 4 to 6 to 8, 10 parties a week, I mean, then yeah, it's, that's going to be like when we say time consuming, if you're doing this for 10 parties, even if something isn't that time consuming for one, all of a sudden you times that by 10, then it gets a little more, time consuming. But, typically if you're running 1 or 2 parties a week, I think that pretty much, and a lot of these options are going to be great.
Mhm.
SynShare has been amazing. I love SynShare. I'm very disappointed in all of this because it's easy. It makes our life easy.
Mhm.
And I think that right now that's what Facebook is trying to do, is just not have anything easy. I will say I'm very happy that Facebook at least did announced this,
Mhm.
and they didn't just put us all in Facebook jail, or they didn't just boom, let's just get rid of this all of a sudden in the middle of a month when we all are using it, and they just stop, because that's happened before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least this way we have time, we can, at least like talk like this, try things. I feel like it's going to be trial and error.
Mhm.
And it's going to be different for everybody. What works for me is not going to maybe work for Brandy, is not going to maybe work for, Michelle. I think some of it's going to be just kind of some trial and error. And not that as leaders that you can't reach out to us and say, oh my gosh, what are we doing now? But, for a long time, it's been, okay, here's our sin share. We have an outline for you. We have this for you. We have that for you. You know, we have all these things in place. So it's just gonna be different,
Mhm. And
but I think
remember,
it'll still be okay.
yes, and remember, I mean, there's Table, and Pampered Chef created Table for us for a reason. This is like the exact reason why that was created.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some of us might just have to suck it up and just really work on making that work and be effective. People are doing it, you know, I mean, they're doing it. I kind of sometimes kick myself that I just didn't continue with it. I was working on it and I was doing it. And then, you know, I'm like, sometimes Facebook's, you know what I mean? You just,
Well, it's the unknown
yes,
and
I hate that.
outside your comfort zone. I mean, this is all, you know, it's like, I was talking to Dominique today and it's like, I feel like I'm, you know, and here's Jamie. Jamie's brand new.
Right.
So here's Jamie, brand new, is learning all of the things. So we're kind of all back in that. Well, we're learning all the things again. And
Mhm.
we're going to try to navigate this territory. Not that it's uncharted necessarily, because Facebook Scheduler's been there forever.
Mhm.
It's always been an option. Some people, that's all they use, and they've been very successful doing that. And same thing with Table. I mean, there are so many consultants that are very, very successful consultants that are running only Table.
Yeah.
And some of them are doing the gateway with Facebook, but some of them
Some
are
of them
not
aren't,
at
yeah.
all
Mhm.
using Facebook.
Yeah.
So
Only doing
I
Table.
love the thought of Table. If any of you haven't checked out Table, I would say at least look at it, check it out. I mean, all the outlines are there, you guys. I mean, it truly is for somebody like me that, I mean, for some of us that are working full time now and are super busy, it's very nice. The hard part is people aren't aware of it, right? They're
They
not,
don't know how to
they
get
don't
there.
understand it, how to get them onto Table. It's, you know, Facebook people are there already, so they don't have to really get there. And that's going to be,
Mhm.
that's the key to it.
And actually, this whole third-party app thing could work to our favor with that, because you can tell your customers, hey, Facebook did this, and therefore it's not going to work as easily to party on Table and, you know, our party on Facebook anymore. I would love to be able to give this option for you. There is tons and tons of direct selling companies. I think, I'm not quite sure, but I know at one time we were the only one that has any kind of our own virtual party platform. I don't know if that's changed now because we've won awards for Table. But you know, Table is going to be another thing too. You might want to go in and take some things and dash on it, and then just actually go in and set up a Table party and click around in the content manager and all that kind of stuff in there and kind of get a feel for it. But one thing you might, you know, need to look into is then potentially subscribing to the project broadcast that's in what's it under? My mind just completely went blank on what it's called.
Pampered Chef Perks or Pampered Perks.
Pampered Perks. It's under Pampered Perks. So you might want to look into that. So, because that's going to allow you to be able to have contact information saved and be able to communicate with people, because it'll add them right into your project broadcast right from your Table party. So then you have all their information. What else was I just going to say? So yeah, I mean, Facebook, I mean, this could be our one way to make Table work for a lot of people too. So the big thing that I just want you guys to understand is that we're just not quite sure how groups are going to work moving forward. If it's going to be worse than it is right now, or if it's going to get better. We have no idea. None. Crystal, did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I was kind of hoping that the pages was going to work out a little bit better, but I haven't tried it, and it sounds like that's kind of not going to be a great option.
No, I mean, you can do it right on your business page as well, and potentially do them kind of like used to do, block parties, they were called, so you could have like 5 people in, so then, but I just think your business page is gonna look so weird. I mean, it's just gonna be content all the time in there, and anybody that's liked your business page. I will tell you too, I was running my Facebook parties the last couple of weeks, again, back from my business page, and it's randomly inviting. I did not invite these people. I've done like, I think like parties this way again now the last 2 weeks, and it's randomly inviting like 6 or 7 people. Like Jamie keeps getting an invite to every party I've set up.
No, oh, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. No, it keeps always, it comes in my feed to join.
yeah, it's inviting.
It's got like a rose thing,
Well,
a
that's
flower, and then it
Yeah.
has your name and it says join.
yeah, that's my
Right,
the
because it's
flowers are-
public.
Yeah, because it's public,
Yeah.
but it's
So
only
that's not just you. I mean, that'll be randomly, can be other people, but it's probably because you follow her page. Because
have like
truly,
100, 1,000 people follow my page, and it's only these 6 people that keep coming in there that it's saying that I invited them. It's weird. It's just
Yeah,
really-
but
really
it's
weird.
like, it's like follow, but it's like inviting you, or it's like inviting me to your page, like party, but it's not even your page, it's like your group.
It's the group I created. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Weirdly inviting people to my group, just like these 6 or 7 people. It's so weird. It's very weird. So I'm like, oh my gosh, if it's doing it in groups I created in my business page, what is it going to do when I'm just creating things on my business page? So that's why I'm just
Yeah,
like, oh,
That's why I asked you, I said, are you, when your mom was first in the hospital, I'm like, are you inviting me to this stuff?
no, because Connie's gotten it too. You have too, haven't you, Connie? Yeah, you're like one of my 6 people, 6 or 7 people it is. I'm like, it's so weird. So yeah, so I don't know what's up with that, but. Okay, so who's got questions that I don't even know if we can answer, but we'll try.
well, and let's not forget, you guys, that we have in-home parties
Yes, yes, and we
that we
can,
can do.
yes,
I think people are maybe wanting in-home parties a little bit again too. I know Brandy's been doing a lot more, and I think that this is, I mean, that might be a great alternative to some of this. Now, of course, we're still always going to have these online parties now because it's the virtual world. It's kind of how things are going. But I just don't want people to, not think about
have those.
those.
Yeah.
I
Well,
personally feel like they're great. You meet a lot of people. It's fun. People see the product, they hold it. I feel like my in-home parties are always much more successful than my online parties. So I don't know. What do you think about that, Brandy? Do you feel like they've been good?
Yes, and I haven't done a ton since I started doing them. But I will say, I don't think I've had one that hasn't hit $1,000.
That's how I feel.
Now
So if you think about it that way.
yeah, I was not having that success recently with my cooking shows, but we were doing virtual parties alongside of it, and then they were well over 1,000, which was very weird because that was like my show average used to be like 900 and something on cooking shows. Like it was crazy. But, cooking shows, I love them. I love, we can work on doing more training on that kind of stuff if you guys are interested. That was why last month, before everything happened with my mom, I was going to have you guys teach you how to do a freezer meal workshop. Stuff like that is, people are kind of in that mode again where they want things to give value to them, and having a freezer meal workshop or doing an air fryer workshop or make and take type things. Those can be things that can be added to this, and they don't all have to be in person. Kathy, she's not on here tonight because she had a meeting, I believe. But Kathy has had very good success in the past with doing virtual freezer meal workshops. So where you can hold them on Zoom or something. So there's definitely, we've kind of gotten into this mode since COVID happened, that virtual, virtual. It doesn't have to be that way. You know, we have options available to us. Okay.
So you're thinking, if I'm understanding this correctly and going over my notes, that because I usually use Facebook Scheduler, that will not be affected in groups?
No, no, I just don't know how well groups are going to perform moving forward. We just have no
Okay.
idea.
Okay, that's what I have written down, but I just wanted to
Yeah, as
clarify.
far as we know, I mean,
Okay,
I haven't heard a thing that Facebook Scheduler is going anywhere. I think they'd be
So
complete idiots if they did that.
if,
You know?
if you do Facebook scheduler, is that like individual posts that you have to do like,
it's like you set your Cint Share up the first time, and then you click on the little calendar and say what time of day you want it to post on what day.
But you can't batch post like you can in
No.
SendShare. So you have
okay,
to.
so it's
already-
individual ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But you can
Okay.
schedule out you could schedule out a whole entire party if you wanted to. That would just be very time consuming. That's why when I've done it in the past, I've chose to do it where I do like tonight I'm going to sit down and I'll post my 5-6 posts for tomorrow and schedule them.
Uploading videos is what's the hardest, but I always have a Google Doc open with my outline and I
Mhm.
copy, paste, put the pictures on it, schedule it. Copy, paste, put the pictures on it, schedule it for 2 hours later. That's what I do with it.
And that's where I was saying, like, that's how I
The
used to do it in the past.
Mhm.
That's where I was saying, since I
Yeah.
had all the content in Cincher, when I had to do that a couple
Right.
weeks ago, I was like, oh, I could just bring this screen up. That worked. So
Yes.
especially for those of you that maybe have already paid for a full year of Cincher, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah. Also,
you
your
can make it work
content,
for you.
your content that's in Cint Share, I would absolutely go in and make sure you copy and paste that into a Google Doc, all of it, just in case.
Yeah, and you can, like, I think you can freeze your account, or like I said, like, halt your account. And I think they only charge you like $2 a month then, I believe it is. Because I did that prior to COVID, because I was using Cincher even before COVID, and I would go through, times when I wasn't doing virtual parties, so I would just halt it and freeze it for a couple months. So,
But
but
if-
then you don't lose your content.
But if you're
So
still,
Michelle, oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say, Michelle has a really great way that she has done. Tell them about how you have your other Facebook group.
the test PC one,
Yeah,
I'm gonna get that in a minute. I'll forget this other thought if I don't say it.
So you don't lose it. Oh, and
Yeah.
then Betsy, I see your hand is raised, honey. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
So Cint Share, you can post to your Instagram page as well. I don't think they're doing anything with that. If you do have a business page, you can post to that. Your VIP page, even though we don't know if groups, how they're gonna perform, you can still do the push notification for your group. So there's still the value with Cint Share. I
Mhm.
don't necessarily think, I'm hearing a lot of people say, I don't know if I'm gonna keep. I'm not gonna get rid of it. I know Kelly said she paid for years, so she's not going to.
No,
Even though I pay monthly, I'm still gonna keep it because I've got those other 3 areas for social media that I still use to promote my business, right? So we still have that too.
Mhm.
It's just our parties, right, that we have to figure out an alternative for. But as for what Sarah was talking about, I don't have a very big team. I got like 3 people that are active right now. But I had created, when I got my first recruit, it's called Test PC or PC test page or something. I can't remember what I call it. But I put my entire outline in there. So that way, those people that weren't on Cint Share yet, if they were brand new, they could go in and just copy my media. And the only thing you can't copy is a video. Like if you put a photo in there, they can copy that and save that to their own devices, right? And then they can copy my hair's in my face. They can copy my words, or I can copy my own words, like if I want to redo something. So I've got that out there as well. And maybe you want to do that for yourself. Because I used to use Facebook Scheduler when I first started. And I liked it because you could do videos and pictures together on the same
Mhm.
post. Where in Cint Share you can't, right? You got to do your video. I always lead with my video and then follow with the other stuff. But I'm going to swear, so you just need to know that right this second.
Plug your ears, everyone.
Okay,
It
Michelle.
took me fucking forever.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I post a lot. I have like 150 posts that go out. On Mondays, when I do tools, I've got like 25 posts. And they go out every 25 minutes. I can't do that during the day at my full-time job. So I gotta figure out something completely different for my groups, but I just
Well, and
want
the other
to
thing
that
too.
since Sarah does other things, right? It's not just our parties.
Mhm.
Right.
And the other thing
For
that we
sure.
might want to think about a little bit too is if you go in and look at a party outline in table, there's
They're
not,
nice.
there's not very many
No,
posts.
no,
So
but
we
they're
may
still
need-
nice.
Oh, yes, they're very nice and they're
They're
all done
cool.
for us. We don't have to think about it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
However, you know, like that might be something we even maybe need to rethink a little bit about. You know, I've always done a 10-day party and I've had great success with the 10-day party. And so to me, it's always been why, you know, fix it if it's not broken, you know, but maybe lesser in the situation that we're going into, maybe more, you know, if you do less than more. And Sarah, you have even said too, remember when we were talking the other night, you said too, maybe, you know, in table, what most people are doing now is they're just scheduling the whole party. So as soon as somebody goes in there, all the posts are there. So
I
Sarah
like that.
said, maybe that's almost what we should do in a Facebook group is just have it all there, you know? And I even
I
kind
have
of
two
said-
things I'm gonna try. One is going to be, I'm gonna post an entire party into the group. So so the majority of the party is there, kind of like if they were to hop into table, right? The party's already there. So when they're in, they can start scrolling, they can start looking. And then I think I'm gonna shorten my party and I'm going to just post maybe, I don't know, 3 times a day or something with a video, some fun thing, and then I don't know, something. I'm thinking this is all thoughts, but
Mhm.
this is just a thought process that I had. Like, you know, and Cheryl actually said that she was thinking she was going to do it, and maybe she already did it. I don't know. I have to talk to her again. But so because I think her and I were talking, either that or I might go to a mega party again. I might try that. And
You mean a block party.
a block party, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
like
you'd
I'll
have
have one
multiple
group
hosts in
and
one party.
4 hosts at a time, but I'm really only running one group,
Mhm.
one party. So you're really not having to post,
Mhm.
you know, and I'm only going to do that if I have multiple, I guess, or something. I don't know. These
And
are just 2 thoughts that I've had.
Yeah, that might be a good reason for you to consider Linktree too, Sarah, because then you can just have one post in there and then they can pick the person's name. So.
When I first looked at table, I'm sorry, Betsy, I'm jumping ahead of you again.
It's just like,
It's just hanging out
Ew.
over there.
When I first looked at table, because I kind of looked at that a little bit a couple weeks ago, I took a couple days off this week, so I'm going to really dig into it a little bit more on Thursday and Friday. But I like the idea of everything is there at one time. And I really like the idea that they have the page before you get into it, shop now. They don't even have to go into the damn party and look at anything.
they don't want to, right?
I'm positive I got people, when I've had parties where they hit $900 before the party starts, they don't give a shit about my post.
Mhm.
I mean, seriously, they don't, right? I
I've,
really like that idea of everything all at one time.
mhm. I've said that for years, haven't I, Sarah? It does not matter what you post in your party. It depends on how many people are in your party.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I still
Like
think it matters what you post in your party, but
I
We're
think
not
it
gonna go there.
matters too, but I don't
I
think
mean, in
there's some people
things,
that it doesn't matter
but-
to.
yeah.
right. Not everybody wants the party. And especially now, I think people are less likely to want the party. That wasn't the case before.
Yeah.
People
we're-
loved online parties. They loved Facebook parties. They wanted to be in the Facebook parties. They wanted to have fun. They wanted to see what was happening and all the products because they didn't have that option ever really before. Even with an in-home party, you can't take the entire catalog with you.
No. Mm-mm.
So it was just different. But yeah, I agree. Right now, it's just totally different. People, they've been invited to. I mean, how many times do you get a host and they say, "Oh, I've been to 5 online parties this month, or this 6 months," or you know what I mean? They're constantly being invited. So, I mean, I think it's definitely changing.
Who on here offers in-home cooking shows for people?
I have, but nobody wants any right now.
Well, it's all about the way you book it too, you know, how you,
Betsy, what was your question?
yeah, that's, what's your question, hon?
She forgot now.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I feel like
That's okay. I'm losing my voice. I've had the dog on me. I guess if I wrote down Facebook scheduler, I also wrote down table. There was a lot that was talked about. And unfortunately, I'm a little scared for Jamie right now because I think I can see all these little birds going around her head. Not
Me?
knowing no, my Jamie that just is starting.
Oh,
Jamie Thurston is my new
Crystal
consultant.
has a brand new newbie too. Betsy.
Yes, yes. So isn't that
And
wonderful? We all
Brandy
got
has
newbies.
newbies too, so.
Yeah, so I get concerned for the newbies because I remember those days of being new and not understanding all the talk that was going on. Is there any way that maybe one of you guys could put like a little list together of different ones that we've talked about tonight so we could go out and research them? Because I think I've heard 5 different groups, but I only got 2 written down.
Well, it's basically manually posting using Facebook scheduler. And it's going to pages using ScentShare. You could do the push notifications too. That's an
But
option.
I also heard tables.
Yep, and
and I-
table.
I thought I heard something about a key link or something. What was the last one you
It's
guys
called
were
a
just?
Facebook gateway. So you would set up a Facebook group and then in that group, you would give not a lot of posts, like very minimal posts, and try to encourage them to click on the table link. It's kind of like to
Table
get
link,
them
okay.
there.
I think
Okay.
she was
They
asking
call it a
about-
Facebook gateway.
So then can I ask you, how, has anybody ever done table? And if they have, how does the host do the inviting then? Do they do it right through table?
They can do a message through Facebook. They can send a text. They can send an email. It's actually super easy to invite. It's just, is the person going to go in it?
Okay,
That's the
Okay.
thing, is you don't have control, where when you have a Facebook group, you can see who they invited and you can send a reminder and stuff like that. So table, it's just one of those things that we'll have to, but people are doing it very successfully, and we can always have somebody else, we can always have somebody come in and do a training for us again. We can always do that. If we're hearing that a lot of people want to go that route, well, we're going to try to support you guys all for how you want to do things. I'll have to ask the directors about this, but I'm kind of almost wondering if we should have kind of a thread maybe on the bandwagon page with things that are working for
I think
people.
I think that would be fantastic
Something, I
considering
don't know.
those that have quite a few parties coming up in April. I mean, right now I'm almost thinking, should I do it 2 ways? But no, I don't want to do that because not only will it confuse the guests, but it'll confuse the host. It'll confuse me. Like if I had it on table and tried to keep ScentShare going on, because we don't know for sure if it's going to go away.
No, and just remember that you have the right to say Facebook they're making it very difficult for us right now. I mean, there's no reason why you can't say that and just say, so this is why I'm going to do it this way. You may have been in one of my past parties, but
Sure.
blah, 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 it's
Sure.
absolutely fine for you to say something like that. That's not,
Okay.
not like a bad thing, it's a fact
Yeah.
of what's going on right now in social media. So,
And I'm the type where when I know a change is coming, I like to get a head start on it. So if I go into it, I'm prepared for things to happen and I can deal with it instead of trying to understand how it works and fix stuff at the same time, if that makes any sense. So that's kind of why I was kind of wondering too, what everybody else's thought is, or,
yeah,
you
and that's
know.
exactly why we're having this meeting. And the
Yeah.
other thing is that Fortunately, we have a group called Director Success that all of our directors are in. And I am sure there's going to be tons and tons and tons of posts in there about what's working for people, what's not, you know, so hopefully we can relay stuff like that too. But I think that this is really the time that we need to be sharing with each other as much as possible on, hey, I did it this way this week and it worked really well. You know what I mean? I just feel like that would be good for us to make sure that we're keeping, or at least share it with your director. And then,
Okay.
because we just have no idea. This is like completely uncharted territory on what's about to happen. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Michelle, go ahead, hon.
So the one thing that I wonder about Table, and this is, I'm taking myself back to my day job a little bit, because they try and trick us all the time with emails that are not valid to see if we're gonna click on something that is not right. And then we got to go through this stupid ass training because we clicked on something that wasn't supposed to be a good guy.
Oh, the stimulation.
So anyway,
So fun.
so what I'm wondering is, you know, the links that we have, how do people, and maybe this might be questions for the people that are, the directors talking to the people that are doing good with Table, you know, because it's going to be a link. And if you email them a link, they're going to be like, I'm not touching that because I don't want, you know, some virus or something. How do we communicate past that? I don't
You
think I
mean
asked
for
that.
the invite, Michelle? Is that what you mean?
Or just to, hey, here's this link, click on it. I mean, I'm programmed to not click on a link if I don't know what that link is. And if we're giving a link to somebody that is questionable, like they're gonna be, like everybody, as soon as I said that story, I saw a lot of heads nodding, right? Everybody's been through that with their work about, you know, don't click on something. And my work got hacked. So we're extra diligent about that.
Well, you're getting an invite from a friend first off. And
Okay.
there is a verbiage in Table that you can copy and paste with the invite link that it like says,
Okay.
you're invited to my blah, 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 blah. You know, and I always, there is a video in marketing imagery kind of explaining Table. Not like explaining, but kind of like giving a quick overview of Table and kind of what it looks like. I always send that to my hosts because I've had people that, you know, they don't use Facebook and their friends don't use Facebook. So we've given that as an option. And I know that there's a lot of people that since National Conference, they are only giving Table links as their shopping links already. I know Lori Reitz is doing that, for instance. That's what she's been doing. So they're automatically being, so I mean, that's one thing that I'm thinking I might do this month is give them the shopping link's going to be Table.
And that's that party page, right? Above the shopping link we normally use?
No.
In the link section?
You have to actually create a Table party.
Oh, you do have to create the party. Okay.
You don't, I mean, if you didn't want to put in anything in it, you wouldn't have to, but that would be kind of weird. But that's the
Okay.
nice thing about Table is it's a quick, like a couple of clicks now to have a schedule or outline scheduled in it. And it's all done by home office. So you don't have to do any, you don't have to think of anything if you don't want to. You can if you want to, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
There is that option too, Michelle, when you set up the table party, you can ask your host for a selfie or a picture that she wouldn't mind you using. And then you can add that into the table party. So then when the people go in, they can actually see their friend. And
see
that's
the
just
photo.
another security check for them.
Sure. Okay.
They really have truly thought of everything for that kind of stuff. It's just a matter of people being conditioned to go to another spot. That's the thing that's happening. But you know what? If, you know, my thing is if all these people that are using Post My Party, for instance, probably not Pampered Chef consultants because we do have Table, but people that are using Post My Party and they have this site to go to now, like people are going to start, maybe this is going to end up turning out to be like a good thing because it's going to be the new norm that people are going to have to go somewhere else to party. We used to use, when all these people were getting put in Facebook jail, this was even prior to COVID, like 2 years before COVID hit, we were using something called Squee to do parties on. And that was the struggle then, is it was hard to get the people to understand that you have to click on this link and this is where the party is happening. So it's just one of those things that if you decide to go the table route, you're gonna have to be patient and learn about it. But fortunately, there's a Facebook group for, for table, for Pampered Chef consultants, and lots of great ideas and stuff like that in there. So, and like I said, if we get a consensus that a lot of people want to go table, I'll get some people that do it successfully and they'll come and train for us. We'll get some good ones on here. Okay. Okay, I didn't see what Kim said. It's too hard for me to look at the chat.
Kim said she was gonna maybe start with a Facebook group and then direct them, like do the gateway thing and
Yes.
direct the table.
A really good person to talk to that about is Kathy Pingle, because she's been doing that. She started doing that this fall. She didn't completely stick with it, but she's starting it again. And there is a training I will post. I think it's on the team page, but I can post it again from one of the executive directors, Susan Warshay, that has really good success with having a gateway going into table. So I can post all that information again when we're done here tonight.
I mean, Sarah, didn't you say on table we can still even include our own posts?
You can.
Mhm.
You can. I mean, the outline is there. It is
Yeah.
created, but you can also put your own things in as well. There's also something called Chit Chat that you can do things in, and that's kind of more of the interaction with table is more there than in the outline. So it's just, our brains are very Facebook party orientated. That's what we're used to. And that's what our customers are used to. So it's just a change.
It's a big
It's just
change.
different. I actually personally think it's better. It can be curated towards them. There's a spot in the beginning where it asks them, what do you want? What do you want to learn about? What do you want? And it does certain things based on that. It'll send them recipes. In fact, if they want, I'm really in this for 30-minute cooking, then they will get recipes about that and things. I think it's great. I think it's a great idea. I just haven't had the time to sit and learn it well enough yet. But-
Training our customers. That's what it is. And
us. I mean, it's us too. We have to train us. Like,
well, right, exactly.
and then our customers. Yeah.
And the thing is too, is that what they were saying, like when it even first came out, is you really have to take everything that you know about Facebook and go with it, because it's not Facebook. It's not going to have, even if you have Chit Chat, there might be one or two, if that, of people actually chatting in there. I mean, maybe
It's not interactive. So
Yeah.
much.
And maybe as the years go on and stuff like this becomes more popular, if other, companies have to go this route, then maybe it will become more interactive down the road. But, I personally, because I'm a person, you guys have heard me talk about this before, that if I have a friend that invites me to a virtual party, I first off go, do I need anything from that company? And if I do, I go in and I place my order immediately. I don't look at a damn thing. That's just how I am. Like, do I need some Scentsy? Yep, I'll go in and place my order. Do I need any Norwax? Yep, I'll go in and place my order. I don't look at anything. I'm usually the first person to place the order in the party. So to me, having that shop now button and they can just go in and click an order, because they know they don't want to sit and deal with notifications coming up in their page anyway, if they're getting notifications, but you know what I mean? So that part of it can be a really great option. They do say that table parties have a higher sales average, that there is more orders that come in a table party.
I will say too, after the training that we just took in Minnesota, that a couple things I've been playing around with too, but like the biggest thing, once you do look into it more and do more, if you watch any of the trainings, you have to be very diligent on host coaching and guest coaching, because people don't know what they're doing and they don't know what it is. So the more you can get into that, the better success you're gonna have. And that's where it's, I mean, like, this is totally a whole nother thing, but like having project broadcast will definitely help you because you can send messages to the guests that join. And you can send them every day saying, don't forget to go check out this and stuff like that. Something that I found out that I didn't realize is, so you have your outline that's already there that you can schedule. But as far as the chit chat that Sarah was talking about, where like the interaction is, that's what people are used to when they're scrolling, is like all of those interactive posts and like different things. You can schedule, you can make your own outline for the chit chat outline. So I didn't realize that, but you can have a chit chat outline. So every party that you schedule and set up, you can also schedule your chit chats to go out. So you can have 3 posts one day, go out and chit chat, 3 posts, you know what I mean? And then part of that is telling people, go back in, you know, hey, did you see that video that I posted today? Or, oh, did you see that recipe I posted today, when you're like guest coaching, to try to guide them back into the party to check it out, or do a fun drawing like, okay, whoever goes in and, you know, checks out this recipe or sends me a screenshot, you know, whatever. But I didn't realize you could schedule the chit chat outline as well, which is a huge time saver, and you're not having to go in and manually post there as well.
And you can put, you
So-
can like, put live videos in there and stuff like that as well.
Yes, so Brandy, with that, oh, now my brain just went. I was gonna ask you something about that. Well, I don't know. It's gone. It'll come back maybe. I don't know. This is my life. Something that I was going to think about doing if I do table. How many of you guys, I've been trying to somewhat shop for this vacation coming up, and you know, you go to Shein or you go to any of these things, and guess what pops up? Hey, do you want 10% off your order? Sign up here with your email. Do you want this? Sign up with your, so Pampered Chef kind of does that, like to try to, because with Table, the big thing is you want their phone numbers, because that's how you're going to be able to communicate with the guest. It's not like you have the option of hopping on a Facebook Messenger to ask a question, or to get to know your people, or to ask people to book a party. So you really want phone numbers. And they do like something, they try to incentivize the phone number. I don't feel like they're incentivizing it enough. I mean, they do send like an e-cookbook or a recipe or something if somebody gives a phone number, but I feel like personally for me, if I decide to go this route, I think I'm going to offer them something. I'm going to offer them a, you know, maybe it's 5% off their order or something, some sort of a benefit to really giving me that phone number. I don't know, but that's just something that I was thinking about the other day as I'm going through, and every single time you go to a site, they're asking for your email or your phone number. Sign up for text, blah, 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 and get 10% off your order. Get $10 off, get 20% off. And that's why they're doing it, is because that's how they can keep connected to you. So I don't know. I feel like Pampered Chef needs to maybe they will, if more people and more consultants are using Table, I think they will support Table even more. I mean, they've done phenomenal changes to Table, like we learned about at conference last year. I was so excited about those changes after our training up in Minnesota, like learning some other things too. It's true. It's like, it just gets this excitement. And I feel like the more people are using it, the more Pampered Chef will, I think, support it and maybe do different things. And yeah, because I think that that's truly like, that just went off in my head the other day when I was on the Shein, and I was like, oh, they want my email, because even if I don't order, they can stay connected with me. And hey, we're having a sale. Hey, this is happening. Hey, this is happening. So if we don't get phone numbers, that's with the hard thing about Table, is if you don't get a phone number, there's no way to stay connected. There's no reminder of like, hey, so-and-so's party is ending, right? You don't really have that. Oh, I know what it was, Brandy. With the chit chat, when you schedule that, see, boom. did she say that like when that new chit chat goes out, they get an email? Or they get a text or something? I think she said like at 1 o'clock.
That's
I remember her saying,
Yeah. That, there's an email that goes out 1 o'clock every day for people that have joined the party.
but
I don't
only
know
if there's something new that posts.
Right, if there's something new that posts. So that probably, if you're scheduling chit chat, it probably does.
Okay.
Because so
All right.
many people used to schedule their outlines by day, kind of like we would do on Facebook. So then they would automatically get an email every day. And then everybody started doing it where they posted the whole thing at once. So they were, I think, trying to find ways to have that.
So that's what it
automated
was.
Email.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, and this is like a whole nother topic that we're not going to talk about right now, but using a service like Project Broadcast, you know, so you probably have seen lots of ads on Facebook even too about how important it is to have like an email list. Cause, you know, I feel like we're very safe in the Pampered Chef world, but if something ever happened where, you know, this happened to Traveling Vineyard at the beginning of December, that company, they were told the next morning that their company was done. So if you didn't go in and save all your contacts of all your people, your customers, you don't have any of that information anymore. So Project Broadcast is another way you've got all your contacts saved in a different service in an outlet completely from Pampered Chef. So that's just an FYI on that. But there is, if you go under Pampered Perks, you can see if you're thinking about doing table, I would at least sign up for that. Because there is this whole thing with Project Broadcast about like the two, what's it called? Where like they have to accept that it's okay to text them.
Double opt-in.
Double opt-in, thank you. I was
Yeah, I
thinking
still have not done that.
authentication. That's what I was thinking. No, it's the opt-in thing. So, and then that way too, anybody that joins table automatically gets put into your Project Broadcast. So you don't even have to manually enter them or anything. So yeah.
Kelly,
Only if they give you your phone number.
Yeah, for phone number. That's what I mean, for phone number. But you don't have to do it where like, if you don't have that connected, like if I just wanted to use my Project Broadcast on Facebook, I have to enter people, you know, if you're not using Connection Point with it. So.
Kelly, is there a way without Project Broadcast to reach out to your past customers through Consultants Corner, like in your contacts list?
Yeah, consultant connection email.
Do you personally, like I can generate an email?
I do it every time I have a shared rewards party. I do it anytime that there's an amazing consultant offer. I send out consultant connection emails frequently.
I'll have to reach or have you talk, we can talk more later, but that came up in my mind this week because I don't have Project Broadcast. So I think there is an option, but I just wasn't sure how. Okay.
Yep, it's in my contacts.
Yeah.
Yep, I can help you with that.
Yeah.
Yep, that's really good. I mean, it's like, I will send, like, say I'm having a shared rewards party and I will like, once it reaches 25% off, I'll send email and consultant connection. And you would be surprised at how many orders I get just from that email. Because they're not on Facebook. They're not, you know what I mean? They might be customers I've had for 20 years. And they're like, oh, 25% off. You know what I mean? So yes, it's a nice option to have to use. Yes, Michelle.
So while you guys are just talking, I built a table party and I'm going to attach it to my VIP page.
How are you going to attach it to your
Incentivize it, Michelle.
Yep.
Give them a reason to
To
go
go
in
to
there.
my page instead of having like my
do a
shopping
wheel
page.
spin or something. Everybody
Yeah.
that goes in there and like do
Yep.
it like in that chit chat, do like a word of the day or something. So they
Yep.
have to.
So I always have like posted in the featured in my VIP page, my current link, right? My link is now going to be I'm going to direct it to my table. I want to try that, right?
Yeah.
Right on myself first before I try it on a host.
Yeah.
But as far as like building the party itself, what I wanted to say is, while you guys just spent the last 5 minutes talking, I built the table party.
It's that
It
simple.
was that cool.
And it was not like that when it first
Right.
came out.
Nope.
It was, you had to change like to get it to like personalize to you as the consultant. You had to do all this stuff. zillion times better now. So much easier.
Yay, good job, Michelle.
Can I share my
Michelle.
screen and show it to everybody? Would that be helpful or no? Are we running out of
Probably
time?
for another day. It's already 8:15. so
Okay, okay.
I'll just see if
I-
there's anybody else have a question. Otherwise, you can obviously reach out to your director too and talk and.
Brandy wanted to ask Michelle something or tell Michelle something.
I was just gonna tell her what I did when I first was trying Table in my VIP group. When I attached that, I just put out a thing saying, this is a new platform I'm trying. Please join, give me your feedback. I'll do a drawing for anybody who gives me their feedback and blah, blah, blah. And I did something like that. So to try to get them in there.
That's
Good
awesome.
idea. Thank you.
Mhm. All right. It's gonna be okay. I feel like I should sing a song or something. It's gonna be okay. I
Well,
might,
Kelly,
you know.
if it helps at all, when I joined with you years and years ago, there was no internet. So, I
Right.
mean.
There was not. I
still
mean,
can
there was
happen.
internet, but there wasn't virtual
No.
parties. Yeah, so it was either pass a catalog.
And you
do
mailed
it
your
like a-
receipts in and you waited. And so, I mean, it's possible. It's just inconvenient.
It's just one more step of
Mhm.
being able to shift and go with the flow. It's just one more, it's just the next phase of what we have to learn how to do. Okay, we got this.
Yep.
Okay. All right. If you have any more questions, just send it to your director and we can talk, and we'll kind of decide about if we feel like we need to like have a thread or something in the team. Once people start kind of playing with things, okay? That might be helpful, but it might be nice to have it like in one post or something, so it's not like blowing up everybody's, you know what I mean? So we'll see. If groups even work after 2 weeks. No, I'm just kidding. We'll see. We'll see. I don't have anything to think about or worry about right now at all. So life is just a mess. So anyway. So
Should we play You Got a Friend in Me?
yeah, right. That's what I feel like. So okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you all.
Thanks all.
Bye.